The sun hung like a branding iron over the Chihuahuan desert, scorching the earth into a cracked mosaic of red dust and thorny scrub. In the New Mexico territory of 1873, 20 miles south of Santa Fe, secrets withered faster than a man without water, and liars were laid bare under that merciless glare. Luke Harlan, a tall, weathered rancher with eyes shadowed by loss, reined in his horse at the sight of a crumpled figure beside a lame sorrel mare. She was dressed in the stark black habit of a nun, rosary beads twisted around her delicate fingers like a lifeline. But something about her, the way she knelt poised, to aware, screamed danger louder than a rattlesnake's warning. Luke's hand instinctively drifted to the Colt at his hip. He'd seen enough deception in the war, where brothers turned on brothers under the guise of duty, and in the ashes of his own ranch fire 2 years back, which had claimed his wife, Sarah, in a blaze the sheriff dismissed as accident. Faith had died with her, leaving him a hollow man herding cattle across this God-forsaken land. He wasn't looking for trouble, but as he dismounted, the woman's head lifted, her eyes meeting his with a sharp, assessing hunger that no woman of God should possess. "Sister Clara," she said, her voice steady despite the heat waves shimmering around them. "My horse threw a shoe on a scorpion's sting. Headed to the mission at Las Cruces. Thank the heavens you found me, Mr. Harlan." He hadn't given his name. That alone set his nerves on edge like the prick of a cactus spine. In this lawless stretch, where Apaches raided and outlaws roamed, a beautiful woman's light could drag a man to his grave quicker than a noose. Luke's mind raced. How did she know him? Was she a spy for the land baron squeezing out small ranchers like him? But her lips were cracked, her habit dusted with sand, and something in her plea tugged at the remnants of his decency. Without a word, he uncorked his canteen and handed it over, watching closely. True thirst made folk gulp like drowning souls. She sipped delicately, eyes never leaving his, rationing what she pretended to need. Liar, his gut whispered. Yet he couldn't leave her to the vultures. He herded his 8 steers tighter and helped her onto Rusty, his sturdy roan gelding that didn't spook at shadows. She settled behind him, her arms wrapping around his waist as they moved on. When Rusty stumbled over jagged rocks, her grip tightened, her body pressing warm and alive against his back to intimate, to knowing for a nun's vow of chastity. A jolt shot through Luke, stirring memories of Sarah's touch, soft and trusting. Now buried under 2 years of solitude, they rode in tense silence for 3 hours, the sun dipping behind the Sangre de Cristo mountains, painting the sky in bloody crimson and deepening shadows. Luke's thoughts churned. Was she running from something, or toward him? The desert amplified every doubt, every whisper of wind like a warning. By the time they reached his modest ranch, a weathered adobe cabin, a rickety corral holding 25 head of cattle, and a barn leaning like a drunkard, stars pierced the velvet dusk. "You can bunk in the shed," he grunted, dismounting. "I'll bring grub. You're mighty generous, Mr. Harlan," she replied, her tone laced with something he couldn't place. Mockery? Gratitude? Ain't generosity. "You keel over here. I gotta bury you. Extra work I don't need." Her lips curved in a quick, genuine smirk, fracturing the pious mask. For a flicker, he saw the woman beneath, sharp, weary, alive. "Honest men like you are rare in these parts. Rarer than honest women." It seems her eyes shifted, a mix of recognition and fatigue, as if she'd carried lies like a heavy saddle to long, while Luke fried beans and jerky over the stove, the scent of smoke evoking ghosts of family meals with Sarah. She washed at the well outside. He brought the tin plate to the shed, finding her veil removed, auburn hair coiled tight, but hinting at wild curls begging to tumble free. The sight stirred him unwelcome. She was beautiful, dangerously so, with high cheekbones and eyes like storm clouds. "Join me? Eating alone feels lonesome," she asked, her voice soft. Luke leaned against the door frame, arms crossed like a barrier. "Say your grace first." She fumbled the prayer, words trailing off, hands crossing left over right instead of the proper way. A small slip, but Luke, who'd shared foxholes with Catholic soldiers in the war, caught it like a hawk spotting prey. His heart hardened. "No, none prayed like that. You ain't no sister of mercy," he said flatly. She didn't flinch, just set the plate down and met his gaze. "No, I'm not, but I need your help bad. That ain't enough. Who are you, really?" She rose, the habit's fabric pulling taut over curves that spoke of a life far from cloistered halls. Stepping closer, a whiff of lavender and dessert sweat enveloped him, stirring a heat he hadn't felt since Sarah. "When your eyes linger on me, Mr. Harlan," she murmured, voice low and intimate. What are you hunting, my sanctity or my form? The question hung thick as gun smoke, igniting his pulse. After years alone, wrestling with grief that clawed at his soul, this woman's challenge unearthed buried desires. Sarah's memory flashed, her laughter, her gentle hands, now contrasted with this stranger's bold allure. Can't say yet, he rasped, voice rough, but either could doom a man with nothing left. She smiled sadly, a genuine sorrow in it. Smart. Men like you distrust pretty strangers, but you'd save a nun. I already know you're fake. I know, but come dawn, you'll help anyway, for riders tried to kill me, and they'll come back. You'll want to know why. She slipped into the night, her scent lingering like a promise or a threat. Luke didn't sleep, perching on his stoop with his Henry rifle across his knees, mind swirling with doubts. Who was she? Why him? The stars mocked his isolation, and deep down, he knew turning her away wasn't an option, not when her eyes held the same haunted loss. He saw in his mirror dot at midnight. The riders came, for shadows creeping like coyotes. Luke's senses sharpened. He ambushed the lead man, a burly thug wielding a kerosene torch aimed at his cabin. The shot cracked, hitting square in the chest, the torch igniting a brief inferno that lit the night. Chaos exploded. Bullets whizzed as Luke ducked behind a water trough, his rifle barking in return. He dropped to more mid-ricochets and guttural curses. The survivors wheeling their horses, wounded but snarling vows of revenge dot from the shed. She burst out, no longer in habit, but trousers and blouse, her pistol blazing. She nailed the last one with a headshot, precise as a Pinkerton's aim. But her hand shook violently after. First kill up close? Luke asked softly, approaching. She nodded, eyes wide with horror. Not where I saw the light fade from his eyes. Her voice cracked, vulnerability piercing her tough facade. Luke gently took the gun. You held firm, saved us both. They dragged the bodies to a dry arroyo as dawn bled into the sky. The labor grueling under the rising heat. Panting, she finally spoke. Amelia Thorne. That's my name. Luke paused, shovel in hand. Spill it all. Her father, Elias Thorne, had owned a prime spread with underground springs, lifeblood in this arid hell. A corrupt trio, banker Elias Crow, water baron Josiah Kane, and postmaster Victor Slade, had burned him alive for refusing to sell. Amelia, a former Wells Fargo detective fired for pursuing vengeance, had pieced it together. Luke's own fire matched the pattern. Small ranchers torched out for railroad land grabs. Why me? Luke demanded, his grief resurfacing like a fresh wound. Sarah's screams echoed in his mind. Had it been no accident? Your loss mirrored mine. I needed an ally who understood the pain. Why the nun get up? Cowboys ignore strange women, but nuns, they feel obligated. Her eyes pleaded now. Hate being played, I get it. But I'm begging now, partner with me in this harsh world. Luke weighed her words, seeing his own scars in her gaze. One rule, no more lies. Truth or nothing. She shook his hand, grip firm, eyes sparking with hope. Deal. They rode out at twilight toward Santa Fe. The plan risky, raid Slide's post office for ledgers proving the conspiracy. Then deliver to Judge Harlan Webb in Prescott, the territory's last honest man. En route, a sandstorm howled in, whipping grit like buckshot. They hunkered in a shallow cave, Amelia tearing her shirt to bandage a gash on Luke's arm from flying debris. Their bodies close for warmth, tension crackled. Her fingers lingered on his skin, evoking a warmth he thought dead. You ever wonder if life's just one long storm? She whispered, her breath on his neck. Every damn day, he admitted, his hand covering hers. The proximity stirred him, a mix of comfort and desire, but he pulled back, not ready to betray Sarah's ghost. Resting the horses at 1 a.m., Luke built a small fire, flames dancing like forbidden thoughts. Amelia shared stories of her pa teaching her to rope and shoot, her voice breaking over failing to protect him. I was the best detective west of the Mississippi, but blind to home, Luke handed her coffee, their fingers brushing. Can't guard everyone. Hands entwined platonically, she asked again, mask free now. What do you crave, my grace or my embrace? He met her eyes, seeing strength forged in fire. A true ally, one who fights for tomorrow's light. Soul deep, she leaned on his shoulder, the chill easing in their shared silence. No kiss, but a bond formed, fragile as desert bloom dot in Santa Fe at 4 a.m. They scaled a livery stable to the post office roof, hearts pounding. Amelia rifle fires while Luke guarded, but a young clerk, Billy, a wide-eyed kid with dreams of the West, burst in, yelling for guards. A rooftop shootout ensued, Luke gunning down the pursuers in a gritty duel, thus choking.